Dear students, good evening and a warm welcome to CSAT Made Easy 2025 series, where we discuss the most exam specific questions and concepts for the CSAT paper of 25. I am Sachin Gopanal and today's topic is ages. In ages, there are multiple types of concepts. However, we will concentrate on one particular concept in this class. Okay, and as always, we will begin with understanding the basic concepts through basic questions and slowly rise up to exam level questions. Okay, let's look at first basic question where we will learn one basic concept. This is the first basic question. If a man's present age is 30 years and his wife's age is 27 years, read this as present. If a man's present age is 30 years and his wife's present age is 27 years, what is the difference between the man's age 13 years hence and his wife's age 14 years ago? Okay, now in this question they are talking about three different timelines. Which are the three different timelines? One is present, the other is 13 years hence, and the other is 14 years ago. They are talking about present, 13 years hence and 14 years ago. The word hence, it means in the future. In this case, that is 13 years in the future. Okay. Now, how shall we solve this question? We shall represent the given data in a tabular form, and then we would be able to look at this data in a clearer way and we will be able to answer the question. First, which are the three timelines they are talking about? The first one is present, okay, and the other one is 13 years hence, 13 years in the future. I will write it here and I will denote it as plus 13 because it is 13 years in the future, and the other timeline is 14 years ago, that is 14 years in the past. So I will denote it as minus 14 and I will write it to the left of present. And whose ages are we talking about? We are talking about a man's age and his wife's age. And what are their present ages? The man's present age is 30 and the wife's present age is 27. And what is the difference between the man's age 13 years hence? In the future, in 13 years in the future, what will be the man's age? If his present age is 30, after 13 years, his age would be 43, right? 30 plus 13, 43. And if the wife's age is 27 now, 14 years ago, it would have been 13, right? 27 minus 14, 13. And what are they asking us? They are asking us for the difference between the man's age 13 years hence and wife's age 14 years ago. So they are asking us difference between the two. What is the difference? 43 minus 13, that would be 30 years. The difference would be 30 years and our answer is option A. Now in this question we learnt the various time, how to represent and how to understand various timelines in the ages. Okay. Now we shall look at the another basic question which is required to solve the questions on ages. This is simultaneous equations. What are simultaneous equations? Simultaneous equations, they are equations which have more than one variable. If there were an equation 2 plus x is equal to 3, then x would be 3 minus 2, that would be 1. That would be x would be 1. There is no problem there. So x would have a unique value 1. However, if you took only this equation 2x plus 3y is equal to 11, x and y each of them will have infinite values. Or if you took this equation alone 5x plus 7y is equal to 26, x and y each of them, they would have infinite values. So to solve for two variables, we need at least two equations of first degree. What do I mean by first degree? Their exponents should be 1. Okay. we need not talk about higher degree equations here. So for simultaneous equations, we are talking about two equations with two variables. Okay. Now let us see how to solve them. How do we solve them? First, we shall write them side by side. 2x plus 3y is equal to 11, and the other would be 5x plus 7y is equal to 26. Now to solve them, we need to find the value of one variable first and the other next. First we shall decide which variable which variable's value we will find first. Now I have decided that I will get the value of x first. I have decided that I will get the value of x first. Okay. Whichever variable you have decided to get the value, send it to RHS, and the remaining one, the remaining, that is y, right, leave only that variable on the LHS. The rest of them completely RHS. What do I mean by that? I have decided to get the value of x first. So I will leave 3y on the LHS and rest all of them I will send them to RHS. However, L is already in RHS, 11 is already in RHS, no problem. I will send 2x this side. Okay. I will do the same here. I want the value of x. So I will let 7y stay here and I will send the all the rest to the RHS, that is 26 minus 5x. Now here I have 3y and there I have 7y on the LHS. What is the LCM of 3 and 7? LCM of 3 and 7 would be LCM of 3 and 7, that would be 21. Okay. If two numbers they do not have any common factors, then their product is their LCM. 3 and 7 they do not have any common factor other than 1. So LCM is their product. 3 into 7 is 21. Now we need to make this 3y equals 3y as 21y and we need to make this 7y as 21y. How do we do that? We cannot just multiply 3y with 7. If we multiply 3 with 7, we get 21, yes. However, we cannot do it only on the RHS, only on the LHS. If you multiply anything to LHS, you need to multiply the same thing to RHS also. So what we will do, we will multiply this whole equation with 7. Then what do we get? 21y is equal to 3 into 7 was 21, okay. 11 into 7, that would be 77, minus 2 into 7, that would be 14. So we got 21y is equal to 77 minus 14x, okay. And here what we will do, we need to again make this 7y as 21y. So we will multiply this whole equation with 3. What do we get then? 21y is equal to, what is 26 into 3? That would be 78 minus 3 into 5 is 15x. Okay. Now look at the two equations. You have 21y on LHS and you have 21y on LHS. So now we can equate the RHS, right? We can equate this one and this one. So we shall do that. 77 minus 14x is equal to 78 minus 15x. Okay. Now I will send the constant that way and I will send the variable this way. What will this be? This will minus 15x, it will become plus 15x and minus 14x will remain the same. And here this would be 78 minus 77 because this is a plus 77 and when it goes that side it becomes minus 77. What is 15x minus 14x? That would be x. 78 minus 7 would be 78 minus 77, that would be 1. So we got the value of x to be 1. Now we can find the value of y, right? How? We can substitute this value in either this equation or that equation. We shall use this one. 2 into x, we will substitute the value of 1. 2 into 1 plus 3y is equal to 11. So 2 plus 3y is equal to 11. 3y is equal to 11 minus 2, that is 9. So 3y is equal to 9. So y would be 9 divided by 3, that would be 3. So we got the value of x to be 1 and y to be 3. Okay. There is no need to get confused here. First we need to decide which value we want first. Here we decided that we want the value of x. So we kept the other variable on the LHS and sent the rest of them. all the factors, we sent all the terms to the RHS. Here also we kept the term y term on the LHS and sent the rest of them on the RHS. Now we need to take LCM of the coefficients. This is 7 and this is 3. LCM of two numbers which do not have any common factor is their product. So the LCM is 21. We need to make this one as the LCM. We need to make 3 as 21. How do we do that? We need to multiply this whole equation with 7 because we cannot multiply LHS with something randomly. If we are multiplying something to the LHS, we need to multiply the same thing to the whole equation. Similarly, we did the same there and then we got LHS, then we equated the RHSs and then we got the value of x and we substituted the value of x in one of the equations and we got the value of y. This is simultaneous equations. Now we learned the two basic concepts needed to answer questions on ages. Now we shall go to exam level questions. We learned simultaneous equations and we learned timeline of ages. We shall go to an exam level question now. Look at this question. X said to Y, n years ago I was as old as you are now. My present age is 4 years your age n years ago. If the sum of the present ages of X and Y is 65 years, what is the difference between their ages? Okay. How do we solve this? First we shall make a table of the timelines given. How many timelines are given here? Only two. One is present and the other is present and the other is n years ago. There also they are talking about only n years ago. So there are only two timelines. So we will write present here and we will write n years ago as minus n here. And whose ages are we talking about? We are talking about X and Y. Now we do not know their ages. So we will take X's age, present age to be small x and Y's present age to be small y. Okay. If X's present age is X, then n years ago his age was X minus n, and if Y's present age is Y, then n years ago his present age was Y minus n. Clear, right? Yes. Now we shall look at the data given. N years ago I was as old as you are now. Who is saying this? X is saying this. X says that n years ago, that is X minus n, he was as old as Y is now. So it means that X minus n, it is equal to Y, right? So we'll write it as Y is equal to X minus n. N years ago, X says that n years ago he was as old as Y is now. So X minus 1 is equal to Y. So we wrote it as Y is equal to X minus n. Then what are they telling us? My present age is 4 times your age n years ago. Again X is saying this. His present age is X. So my present age is 4 times your age n years ago. His X's present age is 4 times of Y's age n years ago. So it means that X's present age is X, right? Okay. And what is 4 times of Y's age n years ago? That would be 4 times of Y minus n. Okay. We have one equation, we have another equation. However, we are not done yet. They are telling us one more thing. If the sum of the present ages of X and Y is 65 years, they are giving us some more data. X plus Y, their present ages are XY, right? X plus Y, that is equal to 65. Then they are asking us what is the difference between their ages. So by looking at this, we can know that X is bigger person, right? So they are asking us what is X minus Y. This is what they are asking us. However, see here, we actually have 3 variables. We have 3 variables, but we know how to solve simultaneous equations. We learned simultaneous equations using only 2 equations, but here are 3 variables. So what shall we do? We shall reduce one variable. How shall we do it? See here we have X and here also we have X. So we shall take the value of X here in terms of Y and N and we shall substitute it here. What do I mean by that? take this equation. By using this equation, we can derive this, right? By sending n to the LHS, y plus n is equal to x, right? Yes. And we will substitute y plus n in both of these two equations, this one and this one. So we have eliminated x. So this equation will become what? This will become y plus n in terms of x. In place of x, we will have y plus n is equal to 4 into y minus n. And this will become what? In place of x, we will write y plus n. Y plus n plus y is equal to 65. Now we have two equations with two variables. They are the simultaneous equations that we learned to solve. So now we will solve them. First we shall reduce them to their lowest form. This one becomes what? This one becomes 2y plus n is equal to 65, and this one becomes what? Y plus n is equal to 4y minus 4n. We shall take y's and n's on the other side, on the same side. We shall send 4n this side and y that side. So we will have n plus 4n is equal to 4y minus y. That would be 5n is equal to 3y. Okay. Now we have two equations. This is first equation and this is another equation. Okay. Now we shall solve these equations. These are the simultaneous equations that we got. The rest of them, we did those calculations to arrive at these two equations. Okay. Now we shall decide which one we shall cancel first. Shall we cancel n or shall we cancel y? Whichever variable we want to know the value of, we will cancel the other. If we want to find the value of n, we will cancel y. If we want to find the value of y, we will cancel n. Now I think I want the value of y. I have decided that I want the value of y. So I will send n to the LHS and I will render y to the RHS. So it is already in that form, no problem. And here what I will do, I will make it as n is equal to 65 minus 2y. So because I have decided that I want the value of y, I have kept n on the LHS and have sent rest of the terms to the RHS. Now here it is 5n is equal to 3y and here it is n is equal to 65 minus 2y. The coefficient is 1. If there is no coefficient written, the coefficient is 1. What is the LCM of 5 and 1? It is 5. So here it is already in the form of 5n. We will make this as 5n also. How? 5, we will multiply this whole equation with 5. What will it be? This will become 5n is equal to, what is 65 into 5? 65 into 5, that would be 365, yes, that would be 325 minus 10y. Okay, this would be 325 minus 10y. So now we have 5n and 5n on the LHS. So we will now equate the RHS. Here the RHS is 3y and here the RHS is 325 minus 10y. Now I will send this 10y this way. It would be 3y plus 10y is equal to 325. So what is 3 plus 10? 13y is equal to 325. Okay. So what will the value of y be? The value of y would be 325 divided by 13. 13 2s are 26 and 13 5s are 65. So the value of y, it came to be 25. Now we will find the value of x. We will find the value of x using any of the equation. Which equation shall we use? We shall use this one. X plus y is equal to 65. So x plus y is equal to 25. So 65. So x plus 25 is equal to 65. X is equal to 25. Sorry. X is equal to 65 minus 25. That would be 40. So y is 25 and x is 40. Y is 25 and x is 40. And what are they asking us? The difference between their ages. So 40 and 25. 40 minus 25, that would be 15 years. So our answer would be option C. I know this looks like a very tedious process. However, with practice you will be able to do this. You will be able to skip much of the steps and you will be able to get the answer within 2 to 3 minutes. So 2 to 3 minutes for such a question, it is a reasonable amount of time. This type of question, it was asked in the 2024 paper. Okay. Now we will look at another exam level type question, very similar to the previous one. P said to Q, 2x years ago, I was as old as you are now. My present age is twice your age 2x years ago. Okay. So they are talking about two timelines. One is present and the other is 2x years ago. If the sum of the ages of P and Q will be 160 years after x years, if the sum of the ages of P and Q will be 160 years after x years, now a third timeline came. What is it? It is x years in the future. What is the difference between their present ages? What is the difference between their present ages? First, we shall make a table of the given timelines. First, we will write present and then 2x years ago, we will denote it as minus 2x, and then x years in the future, we will denote it as plus x. And whose ages are we talking about? We are talking about P and Q's age. Okay. Now we shall take the present ages of P and Q as small p and small q, and 2x years ago this would have been P minus 2x and this would have been Q minus 2x, and after x years this would have been P plus x and this would have been Q plus x. Okay. Now we shall look at the data that is given, the equations that we can derive from the data given. 2x years ago, I was as old as you are now. Who is saying this? P is saying to Q. 2x years ago, that is P 2x years ago, P minus 2x was as old as Q is now. 2x years ago, P was as old as Q is now. It means that P minus 2x, that is equal to Q. Okay. Then my present age is twice your age 2x years ago. My P is the speaker, right? My present age is twice your age 2x years ago. My present age is twice your age 2x years ago. So P would be equal to twice of Q minus 2x, right? P would be equal to twice of Q minus 2x. They are still not done. We have one more piece of data. If the sum of ages of P and Q will be 160 years after x years, their ages will be P plus x and Q plus x, and their sum will be 160. So P plus x plus Q plus x, that would be 160. Okay. Now we need to solve these equations. However, we have three variables, P, x and Q, P, Q and x, P, x and Q again. So we will reduce, we will eliminate one of the variable. Which a variable shall be eliminated? By looking at this, we can eliminate Q, right? Because Q is equal to P minus 2x. No, we shall eliminate P, because here P is readily available in these two to substitute. So we shall take the value of P in terms of Q and x. P would be Q plus 2x, right? From this equation, P's value would be Q plus 2x, and we shall substitute here and here. So what will this equation become? This will become, in terms of P, I will write Q plus 2x. Q plus 2x is equal to 2 into Q minus 2x, and we shall go on solving here itself. So this would be Q plus 2x is equal to 2Q minus 4x, and we shall take x's and y's one side. So this will be 2x plus 4x is equal to 2Q minus Q. 6x is equal to Q. Okay, we reduced one equation, and we shall do the same for this one. Here in place of P, we will write Q plus 2x. Okay, Q plus 2x, and the rest of it remains the same. Plus x plus Q plus x is equal to 160. Okay, I will add P's and Q's. So 2Q plus 4X is equal to 160. However, we see that all of them are divisible by 2, right? All of them are divisible by 2. So we will divide the whole equation by 2. Q plus 2X is equal to 80. Okay, now we have two equations. Now we need to decide which variable to get the value of using this equation and this equation. However, we arrived at a bit of a luck, that is Q's variable is 1 on both the sides, on both the equations. So now it is easy for us. Why? Because we can make the value of Q to be 80 minus 2x here, right? And Q, it is already 6x. There Q is equal to 6x and here Q is equal to 80 minus 2x. So we can equate this and this, right? We need not multiply the equations here at all. We just lucked out and we shall do that. We shall do that. What shall we do? We shall equate 80 minus 2x with 6x. Okay. We shall send 2x that side. 80 is equal to 6x plus 2x, that would be 8x. So x would be 80 divided by 8, that would be 10. Okay, x's value would be 10. Now we shall find the value of P and Q now. Here from this equation it is easy. You can substitute the value of x in any of the equations in the whole paper, in the whole board. You will get the value of P and Q. I will use this equation to get the value of Q. Q is 6x, right? That is 6 into 10. That would be 60. Okay. Now I will get the value of P using this equation. P's value is Q plus 2x, right? P's value is Q plus 2x. Q is 60 and 2 into x, that is 2 into 10, that is 20. So that would be 80. So Q is 60 and P is 80. These are the percentages of P and Q. And what are they asking us? They are asking us what is the difference between their percentages. So if one person says is 80 and the other is 60, the difference would be 20. Okay. Now you got a very good idea of ages and how to solve ages problems using simultaneous equations. Now we shall look at your homework problem. This question, it was asked in the 24-year paper. Let's read it once. A father said to his son, "N years back I was as old as you are now. My present age is 4 times your age n years back. If the sum of the present age of the father and the son is 130 years, what is the difference of their ages?" We have solved a very similar problem, right? Yes. And how many timelines do they have? Only 2 timelines. One is n years ago and the other is present day. Now solve this question using the knowledge that you have gained through the video, and we shall leave your answers in the comment section. We shall discuss the answer to this video in the next class. And now it is time to discuss the answer to the previous classes homework. What was the previous classes homework? This was it, right? How many times the hour hand and the minute hand coincide in a clock between 10 AM and 2 PM on the same day? We know that between any two given hours, 1 o'clock and 2 o'clock, 2 o'clock and 3 o'clock, 3 o'clock and 4 o'clock, the hour hand and the minute hand, they coincide once. And the exception is 11 and 12 and 12 and 1, because together between 11 o'clock and 1 o'clock, they coincide only once. Rest of them, they coincide between any two given hours, 7 o'clock and 8 o'clock, 8 o'clock and 9 o'clock. However, between 11 and 12, they do not coincide because they coincide exactly at 12 o'clock. And between 12 o'clock and 1 o'clock, they do not coincide because they coincide exactly at 12 o'clock. It means that between 11 o'clock and 1 o'clock, between these 2 hours, they coincide only once. However, for the rest of the hours, they coincide. For the rest of the hours, they coincide between any two given hours. Between 7 and 8, they coincide once. Between 8 and 9, they coincide once. If they ask you how many times they coincide between 7 o'clock and 9 o'clock, that would be 2. However, between 11 and 1, they coincide only 1, and that is an exception. And that is the concept that UPSC has utilized here. So between 10 o'clock and between 10 a.m. and 2 p.m., how many times do the hour hand and the minute hand coincide? That would be this is the starting point, right? And this is the ending point. From here to here, one time, and from here to here, only one time, and here to here, one time. So 1 plus 1 plus 1, that would be 3 times. So what would your answer be? Your answer would be 3 times, option A. The answer is not 4 times, it is 3 times. So we learnt the concept of ages in this class. If you like our classes, do watch them regularly. We upload one episode every evening, and also share the YouTube link to the video with your friends through WhatsApp groups and Telegram groups. Thank you, and most of all, happy studying.